everyone, and welcome back to Whiskey and Walks. My name is Ed. Today we're going to be talking about 5 tips for people attending Whiskey Live in Dublin, especially those who are attending for the first time, because the event is coming up in less than 3 weeks. So the first tip I give, which is not included as one of the 5, is that you should absolutely attend Whiskey Live Dublin. It is my personal favourite event in the Irish whiskey calendar, and that is whether you're really passionate about whiskey, when you work in the whiskey industry, those people will probably already be attending, or if you just have a casual passing interest in whiskey, you're at the start of your whiskey journey and you'd like to know a little bit more. It's a great event, it's a great opportunity to learn more about whiskey, to taste some whiskies, and to just get to meet like-minded people. The birds are obviously excited about Whiskey Live as well. Apologies if you guys can hear that. The first thing to do is to organise and plan your trip to Whiskey Live Dublin and home again safely, so that you don't have to think about those things on the day and you can really just enjoy the event. Prior planning prevents poor performance, and that includes when you're going to Whiskey Live Dublin. The first thing I'd say is, if you haven't got your ticket, it's a really good idea to do that now, because you don't want it to sell out, or the session that you are able to attend to sell out. And the other thing is, if you are purchasing a ticket for the event and for a masterclass, you need to make sure that those are on at the same time. So if you have a Saturday afternoon ticket for the event, you need to make sure that you're looking at masterclasses that are on Saturday afternoon, because if you book a Friday masterclass, you will not be able to attend. The other thing that's really important is to make sure that you know how you're getting to and from the RDS. Is someone driving you over there? If that person is driving, have they found somewhere where they can leave their car safely without it getting clamped overnight to prevent them feeling the need to drive after they have been drinking? Or are you going to go on the bus? The bus is a great option for me because I'm based in Dublin, but I understand for people outside of Dublin that may not be as easy to organise. You can bring a designated driver to the event, but to be honest, I wouldn't say it's a great opportunity for that. I'm a big proponent of designated drivers if you're going to a pub or if you're going to a whiskey tasting, but at this event there's probably not going to be a lot for that person to do. Just have a think about it, make your own arrangements, but just make sure that you have all the planning out of the way so that on the day you're ready to go with a good meal in you and making sure that you're ready to enjoy yourself. Tip number 2 is to conduct research ahead of time. The Whiskey Live team are really good at putting a huge amount of information on social media. So if you're a social media user, that's a really good way to do some of your planning ahead of time. Look at the distilleries that are going to be there. Maybe make a wish list of the distilleries you'd like to go to. I know it feels like it's a very long event when you see the timeline on the ticket, but it really is going to fly. Time flies when you're having fun. It goes even faster when you're drinking delicious whiskey. So organise which distilleries you absolutely have to visit the stands for, which distilleries you'd like to visit, and maybe look at some other things like masterclasses. As I mentioned, there's some fantastic distilleries offering masterclasses this year. Another thing that I really loved last year was the Dream Dram Bar. That's another thing that we'll have the list put up on the social media pages soon. And the Dream Dram Bar is a bar in the corner of the RDS where you can pay a little bit of extra money per dram to have drinks of some really special whiskies that you're probably not going to find anywhere else, or if you do find them in a pub that specialises in whiskey, it is going to be really expensive. So it's a great opportunity to spend a little bit of money, get a tiny dram just so you can taste and go, wow, that's fantastic. Last year I had Middleton Very Rare Expressions from a couple of different years and some fantastic releases from Bushmills that I had never seen anywhere else. So look up that list. If that's something that takes your fancy, organise and plan that. If it's something that you'd rather not do, especially the first time you're at the event and you just want to check out the stands, that's cool as well. But make sure that you plan ahead of time to make sure that you get the most out of the event. Tip number 3 is to understand that Whiskey Live is a whiskey event, but it's more importantly, it's a social event. It's a really good opportunity, I feel, to meet up with like-minded people who enjoy whiskey. This includes talking to other people at the events, asking them, have you visited this stand yet? I was wondering, is it worth maybe queuing up and tasting some of the things? How did you find it? Have you tasted that before? They'll tell you, have you visited this bar? It's a really great way to just make connections, meet people, and have a chat with fellow whiskey enthusiasts. Also, the people who are working on the stalls are there to advertise their whiskey and to encourage understanding of their brand and awareness of their brand, but they're also there to talk to you. The more you talk to those people, the more likely they are to give you a little bit of something special, because they'll realise this guy or this girl will really appreciate if I give them something special. So talk to people, absolutely. If you're going with a group, I think that's an even better idea. And if you do go with a group, just make sure that you look out for your group. Make sure everybody's drinking responsibly, drinking safely, and having a great time. Number 4 is to remember that peer pressure is great. Peer pressure is really important. It's a really good... I don't know, man. What? Like, they're going to be at Whiskey Live. You should probably remind people that they need to pace themselves. Okay, apparently peer pressure is not a good idea, but at Whiskey Live Dublin, you should absolutely be open to a little bit of peer pressure. You should never allow people to influence you in the rate that you're drinking. You should always drink at a pace that feels responsible and safe for you, but you should be open to people encouraging you to try new things. You're not going to get the most out of the event if you go in with an attitude that says, hey, I like this type of whiskey and I never drink this type of whiskey. I like Irish, but I don't drink Scotch. I like Scotch, but I can't stand bourbon. You need to be open to people saying to you, hey, come and try this with me. Go up to a stand of a distillery or a brand or even a type of whiskey, a category of whiskey that you haven't tried before or that you've decided in the past that you don't like, and have a little taste. If it's not for you, that's fine. You can come away confirmed saying, hey, that's not my personal preference in regards to whiskey. But there is a chance, and I've seen this happen with friends of mine, that you go to a stand of a distillery or a type of whiskey that you've written off in the past and you come away going, hey, you know what, I mightn't have given that a fair shot the last time, I would drink that again. Be open to giving other people your opinion in exactly the same way, encouraging them to try new things, and be open to going up to a stand and speaking to the people working there of a kind of a trend or a pattern that you've noticed in whiskey that you mightn't fully understand. If you go up to someone and say, hey, I've noticed recently that when I'm reading online or when I'm looking at Irish Whiskey magazine, aging whiskey in this type of barrels has become really commonplace or really popular. This specific type of whiskey has become really popular. Let them explain to you why that might be, and be open to having a little taste. And tip number 5, probably the most important of all the tips, is to be safe. Never ever drink and drive. Make sure that you can get to and from the RDS in a way that is safe, that doesn't involve anybody who has been drinking getting behind the wheel. There's water available at the event and you should absolutely take advantage of that. It's free, it's plentiful, nobody's going to get upset with you if you're taking too much water. You should absolutely be getting water into you throughout the event so that you can enjoy the whiskies. If you feel like you've had a little bit too much and you're getting a little bit drunk, you should definitely take a break from drinking. You can stay socialising with your friends, you can stay going up to visit some of the stalls, but just drink at a pace and in a manner that feels responsible and safe for you. If there are more than a few people in your group, you should absolutely all look out for each other. This is an event where we all want everybody to be safe and to be able to enjoy Irish whiskey and international whiskey together in a fantastic environment. The unfortunate reality of being a whiskey enthusiast is that it is an intoxicating substance, it is alcohol, and we need to just understand that to be responsible with it is a really, really important part of enjoying whiskey in general, and especially Whiskey Live. So if you have any other tips that you think would be important for other people that are attending Whiskey Live, especially first time visitors, you should absolutely post them down in the comments. I'd love if you check out some other videos on the Whiskey and Walk YouTube channel, and if you see me at Whiskey Live, you should absolutely come up and say hello. I'd love to have a chat with you over a little glass, and it'd be great to meet people. So thanks very much. I'll see you at Whiskey Live. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments, I'd love to hear them down below, and I would really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe for more videos. Any recommendations on videos you'd like to see would be really, really appreciated.